G'day everyone, it's been just over a year since I got this battery system. Originally 6 kilowatts of panels and 160 kilowatt hours of battery storage. Now for the first year it really didn't have enough paneling to charge the system back up for normal day-to-day use. So I've added some more panels, and over the last couple of days just been seeing how the system will perform with those new panels. For those of you that watched yesterday's video, which I'll link down below, this is where we left off. The top line on these graphs is meant to be temperature, but I'm actually uploading state of charge there. So the battery state of charge is there, and this purple line here is the battery voltage. Bright red line, power usage of the house at any given time, and the red area, that's the amount of power, total amount used, and the green total amount generated. This gap here is where I was connecting some DC wiring in the shed, so no data gets recorded at that point. And we ended the day yesterday at the highest point, 92% state of charge, so it did not charge the batteries or get them to float. It was a cloudy day, as you can see from the wiggly lines here. And we ended the day at just before midnight, 81% state of charge. Coming into today was an absolutely beautifully sunny day, and at our lowest point, as the sun was rising, we're still pulling power from the batteries. So I did not charge the batteries at all overnight from grid, just left them where they were in that state of charge. So our lowest point, we're at 75.1, let's say 75% state of charge, and then the solar kicked in. The bell curve's a little different now, and I'll get into that in a moment. So really nicely the system came up during the day. That's a battery bank being charged purely from solar, and once the voltages were right, it made a little adjustment on the state of charge, and we hit 100% state of charge. So the batteries were at float. You can see that goes from the absorption stage to the float voltage, and so that's at 2:30 p.m. approximately, and let's just say 4:30. So just over 2 hours of float, and that's actually bringing the system back from a cloudy day. So I'm really happy with that performance. I didn't have to buy any power at all, and you know, we all know that batteries love being charged by solar, so it was never able to do this, to bring up a quarter of the bank's capacity to capture that from the sun, run the house and put it into the battery bank is absolutely fantastic. I could not be happier. Let's have a look. The original system is here. This is the SMA 6 kilowatt system, as you can see there, and that's what it did today. I'm not really sure what happened there, and it does affect actually both PV arrays. Just to explain, the SMA array is facing east-north, and the new array that I've put on is a 4.5 kilowatt array, and that's facing west-north. So that's the SMA. This is the Xantrex. This is what it did today. Different kind of bell curve because of the different aspect with the west-facing panels. So actually, let's just jump back here and have a look at the totals. So we've got a total of 34 kilowatts off the SMAs, and a total of 22.5 off the Xantrex. So let's just put them together and see how they compare. So the dark green is the SMA 6 kilowatt system, light green is the Xantrex 4.5 kilowatt system. So you see the west facing panels are having a different effect here, and obviously the larger system is generating more power. When we combine them together, you see that, but let's compare them together and you can see it looks like something shaded the SMA, whereas the Xantrex panels were not shaded at that point there. I'm just pointing down there. So that's an interesting thing to keep an eye out for, and this is an interesting, there's an inversion here, so I'll keep watching that. So it actually takes these two curves, and when I add them together and upload them, this nice curve here. So once again, back to here, I've ended the day, well, the solar producing part of the day at float, which is nice. If we have a look at the actual live system over here, we'll see that it actually managed to export 2.5 kilowatts or 2.3 kilowatt hours during the day. So that's not required for it to export anything. I'm just happy for it to recharge the bank, but it's cool that it did it. So there was, to get this performance, I still had 2 kilowatts left over. If I get a sunny day tomorrow, I'll be able to see how it performs from a full float charge the day before. So we should be coming into midnight at or the first thing tomorrow morning at a higher state of charge in 81. In theory, depends if the oven's used for dinner or not. So there we go, the system is working.